Hey guys, welcome back. So today is MR2 time again, and we're looking at the white one, but today we're gonna focus on the red one. So if you guys saw my last video on this red car, this is the new car. This is the one I just acquired recently, and it has a couple rough spots around that we gotta go check out and kind of determine what we're gonna do with this car, what's the path forward on this. So I wanted to kind of share it with you guys, show you what's going on, where I'm at. I had it washed since the last video because it came here, was parked for a long time. I want to say it was parked over 10 years. So I had it washed, it was covered in moss. Check out the previous video on this one. Just gonna get an idea of the before. Yeah, it washed up pretty good. It looks shiny. It's definitely a 10 footer. You know, the paint potentially could be polished, but we do have a few rust spots. So what I want to do today is really just go through, show you guys some of the things I've identified, and really get your opinion if you think this car is salvageable, if it's worth investing some money in and getting it back on the road. So let's start off with the engine bay. I'm going to show you it's a NA 2.2 NA, very dirty. So as you can see, super dirty. I did clean it a little bit, but didn't really get in here with a pressure washer. The good news is I was able to get this thing to start. I'll insert a clip right now. Red car is going to start. Let's go. Go for it. Go for it. Fuel tank is full. Fuel tank. No fuel in there. Even the RPM gauge works. Even the RPM gauge works. Alright. So as you saw in that clip, we did get it to start. Now we were using carb cleaner, so I couldn't get fuel to the engine. So we had air and spark. Did not have any fuel, so I had to use carb cleaner, but it fired right up. Actually turned on the first turn, so that's always a good thing. So next move was to try to figure out what's up with the fuel tank and the fuel pump. I did put direct power, so we're getting power to the fuel pump. I did test the wires there, and on ignition we're getting fuel, or I should say 12 volts to the fuel pump. I did put 12 volts directly to the pump, heard nothing. Took the fuel sender out, looked down in the tank, and I didn't see anything going on. So I'm assuming the fuel pump is dead, and once we get that going, the car should fire right up and run. I did take some fuel out, so I basically took the fuel sender that's in the center console here in the interior. So right in this area, right about here, I did pull this up. Took the fuel sender out, looked down in the tank, and sure enough there was fuel in there. Smell like varnish. The good thing though, it wasn't gummed up. I'll show you again. I'll insert a picture here. I took some pictures along the way because I was very curious as to how and when, if this car would actually start. So I took the fuel out. Here it is. Here's a picture of it. Varnishy, a little bit orange as you can see. So probably was not the best fuel to start it with anyways. But with that said, you know, once I put direct fuel power to the fuel pump, I didn't hear anything, and obviously I had the fuel sender out, so you know, if it was going to kick on, I should have heard it. So I purchased a new fuel pump. That's going to be the next video that we're going to do, and you know, you guys will get to see that. Now the engine is going to be in the car, so it's not going to be that easy. Here is the interior real quickly. I did clean it up. The seats came out okay from just a light vacuum, so that's the vacuuming of the seats. I did pull apart, sorry about that, pull apart some of the panels in the back here because I am chasing rust on this car, which I'm going to show you in a second. But for the most part, the interior is all here. I took the radio out because, you know, I wasn't getting power to the radio, and I'm pretty much going to strip this entire interior out because you can see right here the dashboard is lifting, and that's a no bueno. We have to get that fixed. So we're gonna get the dash out. Everything is gonna get taken out to this car. There's the carpet, cleaned up very nice. If you guys remember, it was covered in grass and a whole bunch of garbage was in here. So from where it was to where it's at right now, looks pretty good. Side panels, again, you can see Alcantara, so the interior was reupholstered. So that's kind of like a plus. But there is a hidden secret here, which stay tuned, just follow the video, you're gonna see. There's some major issues here with this car that we gotta talk about. So this video really is what's wrong with my MR2, my red MR2. So let's talk about the issues to begin with. Now, the major issue is, one, it does run, but we think we need a fuel pump. So I'm fairly confident that that will get it going. So I think that's checked, engine is gonna run. There's a slight oil leak, which all of these cars essentially have an oil leak. But you know, that can be sorted out. Must be something from the timing cover, I believe. Simple stuff. Last video you saw me fix a leak on a Gen 5. This one, I think it's even easier. But let's go into the trunk. Let's start off with the trunk. So paint, it's not great, but it's okay. Like, you could drive this car and you know, it wouldn't be a total embarrassment. It's not the best paint in the world, but it's doable, right? Do a quick walk around of the paint here. See, it washed up, it cleaned up pretty nicely. It's red, so obviously without even cut and buff, it shows okay, it shows well. I think it's fine. We got that border kit. I did take off the side skirts. Alright, so you'll see me taking off the side skirts as well, and then that's where I started to get concerned, because you know, we saw some things there that I didn't like. But there's our border kit. It's growing on me. At first I didn't like it, but it's starting to grow on me. I do have an OEM bumper that I bought that potentially I can get repainted and install in this, which ultimately I think is the way I'm gonna go with this car anyways. But let's start talking about the little gremlins here, the stuff that has me very, very concerned and that I'm not sure what I like to do. There's the T-top covers. I found it. You know, the clip, while I'm at this, the clip here is broken, so I did order a new one for that. So interior wise, I'll tell you, everything is here. Everything seems to work. Pop-up headlights work. All of that good stuff is there. So interior, I'm not too concerned with the materials, I should say, the fabrics and the, you know, upholstery and all of that. Now let's get to the trunk. Oh boy, it is hot in Florida. But anyways, touching this trunk is like you're gonna burn your hand. It's so hot. But if we look right in here, in these corners, as you can see, there's a lot of rust here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So definitely a lot of rust here. As a matter of fact, you see that light coming through over there? That's actually light from the fender well coming through. So all of that area is rusted out. This side is bad. The other side is actually worse. This is the bed, so I removed the trunk mat. And this area, that's all rusted out. I didn't really punch anything yet. Like, I see some bubbles on the driver's side here, right here. I think these are kind of soft, but you know, it's still intact. It's not gonna let anything in. But check out this side. This one, I mean, this entire material is loose. So all of these fender wells are essentially shot. And you know, I think it's repairable, but you know, here in Miami, not a lot of guys want to take on tasks like this. So, you know, my friend Kevin, who's a welder, we've been looking at it, and we're hoping that we can figure it out. We just need to go rent a shop somewhere, because I can't do that here. You know, this is not a DIY, I think, for home, at least not home in Miami, because you know, community just doesn't support that stuff. So that's an issue. Looking underneath the car, you know, it's kind of dirty, but it's all there. I'm hoping the subframe bolts are fine and that area is not rotted. If that area is not rotted, then can work with it, right? Moving on, so we leave the trunk. So we know we got some rust spots there. Under here, this is the tail end of the trunk. So back here is also rusted as well. Super bright outside, guys, so you gotta bear with me. Alright, so that is our trunk. Now, we get here, again, same story with the fender well. We have a little bubble right here in the arch. In a normal grand scheme of things, I wouldn't be too concerned, because that can be fixed. But then we get down here, and I know this is very common on the MR2s. I did pull the interior piece on the inside, and the sponge, the factory sponges that sit there, they're still in place. So again, that would be part of the reason why these things just rotted out. And you know, this had the border kit side skirts, so I took those off, and obviously this is what was revealed. Alright, so there you go. So how bad do you think these are? Is this something that can be repaired? Do we junk it? Do we fix it? What do you guys think? It's crazy, I had to stop there for a second because my iPhone overheated in this heat here in Florida. But I'm back and I'm just kind of admiring these wheels. So these wheels are 17 by 7s on the back, 16 by 7s on the front, and they're pretty cool. I think I'm gonna clean these up. I should be able to restore them pretty nicely. The brakes are fine, they're rusted out, but looks like there's some new pads on them. So I think some wire wheel and some paint should get those brakes in fairly okay condition. Again, right now the major issue is rust right there on the rocker panels and in the trunk. We're gonna move over into the hood, so that's in our front, I should say. So let's see what's going on inside the front area. Bumper is fine. Again, border kit potentially will get replaced pretty soon, but very interesting. Makes it looks like Fast and Furious. I actually like it with the red. All right, front area, interestingly enough, this is very clean inside here. Most of the times right here is all rusted out, and this is looking very clean. You know, as clean as a 30-year-old car can look, I should say. The struts are all cracked, the heads are cracked, so more than likely I haven't driven it yet, but the struts are probably shot. But looking good here. All the pieces look fine. Surprisingly, this battery, guys, this battery is from 2012. It had 1 volt when I pulled it out, and I was able to charge it up, and it's been holding 12.6 volts consistently. So that's some good news. I don't have to get a new battery here. That always helps, especially when you're spending money on these vehicles. But front area looks good. Under the front looks good as well. So no issues, no rust here. So the front of the car is fine. Took the wipers off. They look good too, but all of that cover is going to come off and get cleaned, so I started disassembling. All right, we're moving on to the driver's side. This wheel, I'm not sure why it has so much rust here, but I suspect this car was probably parked close to a sprinkler or something, and just a lot of rust here, but it should be able to clean up. But again, some nice wheels, Motegi wheels back in the day, old school. But check out this side now. This is a major concern right here. I don't even know how that gets fixed, but a lot of rust there. It's all cracked, and same issue on the back. I'm gonna try to get the camera under the car so you guys can see. Okay, so I know most of you guys are probably paying attention, and you saw something very concerning a while ago when I put the camera under the car. Now look at the inside. This is the driver's side. Everything looks normal. Just a little bit dirty, needs some cleaning. Seats are perfectly fine. Now we're gonna go underneath this carpet and let's see what we're gonna find. All right, if you guys are ready for it, here we go. So this is the under the driver's side floor well, and look at that. Yes, that is the floor. My pavers in my driveway you're looking at. So all of this is rusted out. Those are the pedals, so the entire floor plan. Sorry. I want to say from here all the way around, it's just really bad. And you know, I don't know if this, I mean, obviously floor pan can be replaced. I've looked at a couple of videos online, but this is, I think, as bad as it gets. The seat brackets are rusted out. That one is actually fully gone. And then on the back here, it's not as bad as the front. It's rusty, but the metal somewhat stable. But what I'm looking at is potentially going from here all the way here and having to replace this floor. All right, everything else on the car, you know, can be fixed easily, I should say, or relatively easy. But that rust on the floor is very concerning to me. So if you guys want an MR2, you know, I know a lot of guys want them up north. This car is from up north and they rust out a lot. Have you guys had any issues like this? Have you been able to successfully fix it? How much did it cost? Was it a deal breaker? You know, all the questions above. So I would appreciate anybody's advice as to what do you think can be done. You know, the floor is really the big issue. Now the good news is my friend Craig has that donor car, the blue one. Again, previous videos. You hear me telling you go back to previous videos, because if you're into MR2s, chances are we got a video for you that's related to whatever it is you're trying to figure out. Yeah, so my friend Craig has a blue parts car that we potentially could cut the floor out, because he's gonna scrap that car anyway. So we could cut the floor out and, you know, weld it in here. you know, my friend a welder, or if ideally if a body shop local here is willing to take this job on, we could do that as well. But that's my biggest issue right now as to what do I do with this car. T-tops leak, of course. I'll get that fixed, and the reason why the T-tops, the floor is rusted is probably because of the T-tops, because it rained here and I saw water inside. So, you know, it more than likely water just sat there and rotted out that floor on the driver's side. Don't see any other reason why that would happen, but that's a pretty big hole, guys. So, you know, that's kind of like where we are. So that's the update on the car. The next move is I'm actually gonna get it running. Irregardless of what I do, I'm gonna get it running. So I'm gonna go pull the fuel tank, get a new fuel pump in there, drive it around. Hopefully I don't fall out the floor, but we'll get it running, and you guys can look forward to seeing more content on this. Either way, whether we keep it or, you know, I decide to cut my losses and move on. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely something different. But hey, I like projects, and this is definitely a project, so I'm excited nevertheless. You know, I always get excited with projects. I just love to understand the path forward, and that's what I'm trying to determine right now. Hope you guys enjoy this, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.